150,000 Russian troops are expected to hit Belarusian training grounds this year as part of the Zapad 2025 maneuvers. Kyiv warns that this is a scenario similar to the one 3 years ago, when some Russian units from Belarusian territory attacked Ukraine. This time, however, it may not be about Kyiv, but about destabilizing NATO's eastern flank. Zapad 2021, the largest maneuvers in Eastern Europe since the collapse of the Soviet Union. 200,000 soldiers, thousands of units of equipment, a large part of them on the territory of Belarus. It was in this way, under the nose of NATO, that Putin organized a Russian military deception, sometimes known as Maskirovka, concentrating forces that a few months later took part in the first strike on Ukraine. This history may repeat itself, according to Kyiv, later this year.
Now we see how he's preparing to train 150,000 people, mostly on the territory of Belarus, to show it for the world that it's just training, that is usually he's doing the same usually, but it's not truth. From such point, he began the occupation 3 years ago. Full-scale war, he began from some symbolic trainings and etc.
The information gained by Ukrainian intelligence has already been learned in detail by Kyiv's closest allies, including the Americans.
There is a high risk that he can do the same, maybe not, God bless not, and maybe before it, President Trump and the allies will stop him.
The Zapad maneuvers in 2025 are expected to be a demonstration of Russian reconstitution capabilities. Optimists assumed that sanctions and isolation would lead Russia to economic collapse. However, what some analysts warned of has happened. The Kremlin has switched its economy to war mode and, with the help of China, is able to rebuild its potential.
And if we get a bad deal, it would only mean that we will see the president of Russia high-fiving with the leaders of North Korea, Iran and China. And we cannot accept that. That would be geopolitically a big mistake.
Minsk does not want to lose in the New Deal. Hence the somewhat. However, seeking contact with the West may be risky, especially since Putin still wants to use Belarus to destabilize NATO's eastern flank. Lukashenko is also trying to strike a deal with Vladimir Putin on a timetable for the withdrawal of Russian forces from the training ground after the Zapad exercises are over, so that this number of Russian forces in Belarus will be within security limits, both for Lukashenko and for its NATO neighbors. Regardless of the course of the Washington-Kyiv-Moscow talks, Putin will be prepared for Variant B, in which no agreement is reached, and the situation in the region escalates. Europe must also be ready for such a scenario, hence such unequivocal pressure from both the Pentagon and NATO headquarters for a significant increase in defense spending.